Anyway, good morning. And once again, welcome to our April coffee chat hosted by Visiting Angels. We're so glad to have you join us today. And yes,
Yeah.
whether it is your first time with us or you're a familiar face, thank you for spending part of your morning with us. And let's give ourselves a big hand for being here, of course, pat ourselves on the back. Anyway, today's session is entitled Parkinson's 101 Management and Beyond What You and Your Family Should Know. Because we all know when it comes to Parkinson's disease, right? Having the right knowledge and support can make a world of difference, not just for the person diagnosed, but for the entire family, of course. And that's exactly what today is about, giving you tools, insights, encouragement to help navigate this journey a little more confidently. Now, I'm excited to introduce our guest speaker, Derek Russell from the Parkinson's Foundation. Derek has been with the foundation for over 2.5 years and brings not only deep knowledge but also a big heart for community engagement. He's passionate about improving the quality of life for people living with Parkinson's by connecting them to care, resources, and hope for the future. He works directly in the Mid Atlantic region, helping individuals and families find the support they need. And today, he's here to share that same guidance with us all. So grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into this meaningful conversation. Derek, over to you.
Alrighty, thanks, Dexter, and I really appreciate you and Visiting Angels for having us in the foundation here today. It's a great pleasure to speak with all of you, and I look forward to taking your questions, hopefully, as we move through the presentation. And please feel free to let me know if there's anything myself or the foundation can do to assist you in any way. We are always here to help the community. So, without further ado, I'll go ahead and get started. I'll introduce myself again. I'm Derek Russell, the Education and Outreach Manager for the Mid-Atlantic chapter of the Parkinson's Foundation. And before we get started, I just wanted to let everyone know this presentation is informational only and should not take the place of medical advice from your physician. So happy to share the information we have, but please always consult your doctor, as always, when you move forward with treatments and such. All right, so just an overview of what we're doing today. I'm going to give you a general overview of the Parkinson's Foundation itself, the work that we do within our community, as well as nationally. Again, just a PD 101, a briefing of what Parkinson's is, the symptoms of it, things related to that. And then finally, the resources that we offer to the community at large, both in the Mid-Atlantic area, as well as nationally throughout the country. All right, so we're going to start with an overview of the Parkinson's Foundation and the work that we do. For those of you who are new to the Parkinson's Foundation, our mission is to make life better for people with Parkinson's disease by improving care and advancing research toward a cure. In everything we do, we build on the energy, experience, and passion of our global Parkinson's community, both in the US and abroad. The Parkinson's Foundation is driven by the urgency of our mission. So it's estimated that there are 90,000 people diagnosed with PD every year just in the US alone. In the US, there are around 1 million people living with Parkinson's and about 10 million total worldwide. Prevalence is expected to increase because a large portion of our population is becoming older adults. And the average onset age for Parkinson's is mid 60s. PD is the second most common neurodegenerative disease after Alzheimer's, and there are currently no cures but treatments available to improve quality of life for someone diagnosed with Parkinson's. So the foundation is based around the three pillars, as we like to call them, and those guide everything that we do. So the first pillar is ensuring better care for everyone in the Parkinson's community. The second pillar is understanding Parkinson's disease through the research that the foundation does. And the third pillar is the education and outreach that we do within our community to empower the community to seek treatment, to look at the resources available to them. That is what we're doing here today with this fabulous presentation that we've been offered the opportunity to give. And we also do some in-person presentations and education programs that we'll touch at. So let's take a closer look at these pillars over the next few slides. For pillar one, ensuring better care for everyone with Parkinson's disease, central priority of the Parkinson's Foundation is to ensure that all people with Parkinson's disease can obtain the care they need to improve their health and quality of life. Currently, care for people with Parkinson's disease is varied, and comprehensive care is not easily accessible. The Parkinson's Foundation Global Care Network creates more opportunities for people with PD to access high quality care while also providing health professionals with a chance to advance and share their knowledge with the community at large. Currently, we have 54 centers of excellence throughout the US, where the majority of those are actually located in the US. I apologize. We have 40 in the US, 54 throughout the world. So 40 of those are going to be based in the US. And in addition, we also have 10 comprehensive care centers that you'll see referred to as CCCs. The centers of excellence are medical centers with a specialized team that work on the latest Parkinson's medications, therapies, and conduct Parkinson's research in conjunction with the foundation. Our Mid Atlantic chapter has three COEs currently. One of them is Georgetown Medical Center. We also have Christiana Cares in Delaware. And then finally, we work with Johns Hopkins in the Baltimore area. The comprehensive care centers are centers that meet the same criteria as the Center of Excellence, but do not do the research portion when it comes to Parkinson's disease. They are more focused on the care itself. Okay, and then for tomorrow, our goal is trying to find a cure for Parkinson's disease. That is the goal of everything that we do with the foundation. We fund basic research that leads to a greater understanding when it comes to the biology of Parkinson's. We work with Parkinson's virtual biotech in an effort to deliver new treatments in the coming years and not necessarily in decades. Our goal is to find these things as quickly and as safely as possible. And then also through the foundation, we provide genetic testing and counseling at no cost through our personal research that we are doing with PD generation, which is helping to map the future of Parkinson's disease. So PD generation is based in the help that you guys give us from the community. It informs you and your family of the potential genetic markers when it comes to Parkinson's disease. It helps us advance Parkinson's science by allowing you to participate in the trial in itself in order to get a mapping gene profile. So essentially how it works is you submit a sample to the Parkinson's Foundation free of charge, either from an at-home kit or you can go to a medical professional that works with the foundation. And then from that blood sample, it is sent back to us and tested through our PD generation study. And then from there, you are connected with a genetic counselor who can go over your entire gene profile. So this allows you to get a better idea of specifically the gene markings that are related to the conditions that you are having in your life, and as well as help you with your family to see if there's potential genetic markers or other things involved. How it assists the foundation is that it helps us in finding more people involved in the study to study more genes and hopefully again find a cure for Parkinson's. If you're interested in finding out more about PD generation, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may have at the end of this portion of the presentation. But also, if you're looking for more information, you can go to parkinson.org slash PD generation here on your screen. And as I mentioned, you can schedule an at-home or in-person appointment. You complete your genetic testing, and then you can meet with a genetic counselor free of charge to review those results with them. Okay, and then finally, our third pillar is the education and empowering of the community at large. So the last pillar focuses on that education portion, such as the presentation I'm giving today. We offer a wide variety of free resources, including educational books, webinars, podcasts, our hospital safety guide, our toll-free helpline, and much more. I will go into more depth of specifically the things that we offer as we move forward in the presentation, but I wanted to highlight these fantastic resources that we have available free of charge through our parkinson.org website/library, or you can also get physical copies of any of these books by calling 1-800-4PD-info. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on our PD 101 presentation. Again, please note that you can put any questions you may have in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer them as we get to the end of the certain sections of this presentation. But please ask away any questions you may have. I'd be happy to answer them. And if I don't have the answer for you, I would be more than happy to put you in contact with someone who can help you out. Okay, so what is Parkinson's disease? To put it simply, Parkinson's disease is a progressive brain disorder, more specifically a neurodegenerative disorder that is caused by the loss of dopamine neurons deep in the brain. There is no cure for Parkinson's, as we mentioned. However, the symptoms can be treated and treated effectively. In addition to medications and other treatments, there are also healthy lifestyle choices that someone can make that can help maintain a quality of life for people living with Parkinson's. What you'll hear throughout this talk is that with the right care, the right support, and the right resources, people with Parkinson's can live well for many years. So who is getting Parkinson's? An estimated 1 million people, as I mentioned, have Parkinson's in the US, 10 million worldwide, and 90,000 people are diagnosed in the US every year. It is the second most common disease after Alzheimer's, and anyone can get Parkinson's regardless of race, ethnicity, or gender. We do know, however, based on the statistics, that men are about 1.5 more times likely to get Parkinson's compared to women. And part of this is that we think it has to do with the estrogen, since there seems to be somewhat neuroprotective as a result of that. Most people are over 60, as I mentioned, when they are diagnosed. The average age of diagnosis is around 62 years old, but a small number of people have what we call young onset PD. By definition, this means that you were diagnosed when you were younger than 50 years old. But we have seen people diagnosed, unfortunately, as early as in their 30s and even in their 20s. We like to use Michael J. Fox as a reference. For example, he was diagnosed with early onset at the age of 29. So, although age is potentially a factor, it is not necessarily at the root cause of people that are diagnosed with Parkinson's. All right, so I want to point to some of the 10 early signs. I do want to emphasize that these are 10 signs that you might have the disease. No single one of these means that you should worry, but if you have more than one sign, you should consider making an appointment to talk to your doctor. So one of the main signs is tremors, small handwriting, loss of smell, trouble sleeping, trouble moving or walking, constipation, a soft or low voice, masked face, dizziness or fainting, and stopping or hunched over. Again, these are signs that you may potentially have Parkinson's disease. But again, I wouldn't worry if you only have one or a few of these. You would want to consult a medical professional, though, if you are seeing yourself having several of these. So what causes Parkinson's disease itself? Unfortunately, the cause is unknown, but we think it's a combination of genetic and environmental factors that contribute to the risk. Parkinson's is rarely hereditary. We know about 10 to 15% of people with Parkinson's have a genetic predisposition. If a person tests positive for a certain gene mutation associated with Parkinson's, their risk may increase, but they may still never develop PD or any of the symptoms. In some families, changes or mutations in certain genes are inherited or passed down from generation to generation. For example, people of Jewish descent are at an increased risk. Some studies have demonstrated that prolonged occupational exposure to certain chemicals, such as pesticides, heavy metals, solvents, or even air pollution, is associated with the elevated risk. Again, other factors can include age. People over the age of 60, again, are more likely to be diagnosed. People may sometimes report symptoms that appear more severe, such as head injuries, illness, operation, or emotional stress. And it seems unlikely that any single event can cause Parkinson's disease, because the slow degeneration of brain cells is the main reason that most of people are diagnosed with Parkinson's. All right, what should we know about the symptoms of Parkinson's disease? Parkinson's occurs when nerves and nerve cells deep in the brain that produce dopamine gradually degenerate. These neurons are either lost or they malfunction. Over time, as you lose these neurons, we start to see symptoms come out. It's estimated that by the time someone shows the Parkinson's symptoms, they've lost about 40 to 60% of these neurons. This is why early indication and treatment is so important so that we can catch these things at the early onset. The symptoms that we typically think about when it comes to Parkinson's disease are movement symptoms. That's why it's called a movement disorder, because it affects the way people move. These symptoms can include tremor or shaking of an arm or leg, slowness of movement, or stiffness in the muscles. In addition to movement symptoms, there are also symptoms called non-motor symptoms because Parkinson's itself affects many systems of the body. The symptoms can vary from person to person as well. There is a saying, if you've met one person with Parkinson's, you've only met one person with Parkinson's. Not everybody has the same set of symptoms. And as we go through these symptoms, you'll see that just because it is listed doesn't mean that you have Parkinson's or that you'll necessarily get some of the symptoms that we list. Okay, so to start, we're going to discuss motor or movement symptoms. So let's review those a little bit. There is a shaking or tremor, often of a hand or leg, but it can also involve the head, the neck, or even the jaw. It is the most recognized symptom of Parkinson's. However, only about 10 to 30% of people with PD don't develop a tremor over time. So it is one of the more prevalent symptoms when it comes to Parkinson's disease. And sometimes it can lead to a delay in diagnosis. Some people describe an internal tremor as well, or the feeling of a tremor or shakiness that can't be seen by others. This is a real symptom of Parkinson's disease. Slowness as well and trouble with movement can show up in subtle ways. More difficulty or taking longer to button tiny buttons, to zip zippers, prepare food, handle utensils, brush your teeth, shave, everyday things along those lines. People may also have stiffness in their arms, legs, neck, or hips. They may experience that as a feeling of weakness because their arms or legs aren't moving as well. And then, in addition to that, some people can have trouble with walking and even their balance. Because these changes are slow and don't happen overnight, it may seem that the person with Parkinson's has moved slowly for a long time or lagged behind the group when taking a walk for years. But these symptoms are subtle and very early symptoms that you may have. So, again, if you have two or three of these that I'm going through, definitely consult your doctor just to see if that's something that potentially you may have. Okay, we're going to focus on the non-motor symptoms now. So most people with Parkinson's experience non-motor symptoms as well. While others may not be able to see these symptoms, they can be more troublesome for people than some motor symptoms even. Non-motor symptoms can include changes in mood, things such as depression, anxiety, or feeling of nervousness. It could also mean a lack of interest or feeling of apathy, which is a lack of motivation for the person. It may look like depression, but it's actually trouble with motivation to do things that the person likes to do. In addition to mood changes, people can have thinking and memory trouble, and we like to call that cognitive impairment. This may mean trouble paying attention, learning new things, feeling like their thinking is slowed down, or it might mean trouble remembering words, names, difficulty multitasking, things along those lines. Other symptoms that can happen include softer speech. People find that they're not able to project as well, trouble falling asleep as well. As staying asleep can be signs of symptoms that happen with Parkinson's disease, or people might even act out their dreams. Many people have trouble with fatigue or just feeling sleepy during the day as well. But please note that many people will experience something called RBD, which stands for REM sleep behavior disorder. This is a very common diagnosis prior to developing Parkinson's disease. Constipation is another common symptom, and then usually later during disease progression, hallucinations can also occur, which basically means, of course, seeing things that aren't there. So, how do we diagnose Parkinson's? Unfortunately, there is currently no one way to diagnose Parkinson's. Parkinson's disease is a clinical diagnosis. This means it's made by looking at your neurological exam and your medical history. Making an accurate diagnosis of Parkinson's, particularly in its early stages, is difficult. But a skilled practitioner can come to a reasoned conclusion that you may have Parkinson's disease based on these scans. To consider a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, a person must have bradykinesia, which is the slowness of movement. In addition to the bradykinesia, a person must also have one or more of the following: shaking or tremor in a limb that occurs while it is at rest, stiffness or rigidity of the arms, legs, or trunk, and then trouble with balance and falls. Often a Parkinson's diagnosis is first made by a family physician, but many people do seek additional opinions from neurologists with experience and specific training in the assessment and treatment of PD itself. These are often referred to as movement disorder specialists. Sometimes, when someone has been on a medication in the past that blocks dopamine, or maybe their tremor just isn't quite typical, a doctor may do a DAT scan to support Parkinson's disease diagnosis. A DAT scan uses a small amount of radioactive drug to light up dopamine transporters in the brain to measure if there's been a loss of dopamine transporters over time. This is not a substitute for clinical evaluation or diagnosis, but just another test that they can do uh, in order to diagnose someone with Parkinson's disease. So when to start treatment? When to start treatment is really a discussion that should take place between your neurologist and the individual that's been diagnosed. So it's different from person to person. It depends on that person's individual needs, the symptoms that they're experiencing. Your doctor may ask if your symptoms are interfering with daily activities or if they're making it difficult to exercise. Exercise is a really great thing to slow the progression of Parkinson's disease. A lot of our um, books and a lot of our pamphlets are very rooted in exercise. That is something that we can always recommend as just an everyday treatment in your life. But if your symptoms are starting to interfere with your ability to do things such as exercise, then you should definitely talk to your doctor about starting specific medication. Okay, so once you're diagnosed, building a Parkinson's healthcare team, this is very important. So, if you have been diagnosed with Parkinson's, one of the main things you want to do is find a neurologist and help put a team of healthcare professionals together for your care. Parkinson's can affect many systems in the body, so there are many specialists that you might need to see at some point during your Parkinson's journey. This might include physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech language pathologists, and social workers who can help find resources in the community. There are also counselors as well who can help with mood, anxiety, and depression. Unfortunately, depression and anxiety are the number one factors impacting the overall health and well being of people with Parkinson's. If you are having any of these symptoms, let your doctor know and get the help that you need through a psychologist, psychiatrist, support groups, or social workers. This can help you build coping skills throughout your Parkinson's journey as well. This is not a complete list as well. You may also need professionals such as dietitians, fitness professionals, community health workers, professional caregivers, things along those lines. We are also here to help you with that process as well. If you're looking for a referral for somebody in your community, to speak with a primary care doctor is one method, but you can also contact our helpline, which I'll have the number up here at the end of the presentation. But it is 1-800, excuse me, 4PD/info. They are a great resource. Everybody that answers that line is a medical professional of some sort, and they're happy to talk with you about anything you may need, get you a recommendation. Even if you just want somebody to talk to about your journey, they're there to help you with anything you need. Okay, and symptom management related to finding the right doctor for you. Finding the right doctor is important for symptom management itself. We definitely want to recommend you find a qualified physician, preferably again a neurologist who sees other people with Parkinson's, and someone you are comfortable with is one of the most important things. You want to make sure that you can find somebody who takes the time to listen and answer any questions that you may have. You may consider care centers in our Parkinson's Foundation Global Care Network, a Parkinson's Foundation Center of Excellence, or a comprehensive care clinic. Those are all great places to start. Some people may not have a specialist in their area or a doctor who knows Parkinson's as an expertise. Telemedicine may also be an option for you, but it may be worthwhile to travel once or twice a year to see a specialist who can work together with your local physician to provide the best care possible for you. Okay, let's talk about some of the treatments. We'll review here some of the current treatments for Parkinson's disease, including medication and exercise. Medication can be for motor and non-motor symptoms. So levodopa was the first medication discovered for treating Parkinson's disease. It's still the primary medication used, and it comes in different formulations. For example, it can be inhaled, it can be taken as a pill format. There's various ways that you can take it. Levodopa can cross the blood-brain barrier, and once it gets into the brain, it can become dopamine. People might take it at different times of the day and different doses. It's really finding what works best for the individual themselves. Once you can get on a regimen that works for you, that's what we would recommend sticking by. Of course, again, consulting your doctor or primary care physician. There are also medications called dopamine agonists that act like dopamine. It's not dopamine itself, but the nerves think it is in the brain, and it has very similar effects. But again, please talk with your doctor which medication is right for you. It is different from person to person, and there are potentially side effects. Surgical options like deep brain stimulation are mainly for motor symptoms, and then exercise is going to be important for managing symptoms as well, alongside various forms of therapy. There is something called focused ultrasound, also referred to as FUS, that doctors use ultrasound beams to destroy brain cells that may cause movement problems. People with PD who start exercising early after the diagnosis for a minimum of 2.5 hours a week statistically have experienced a slower decline in quality of life compared to those who start exercising later. Exercise can help slow the progression of PD. It helps maintain your balance, your mobility, strength, and it also can improve your mood. The best exercise is the one that you want to do. So there's not one exercise that's a one size fits all for people with Parkinson's. You can do things such as boxing, yoga, Tai Chi, dancing. We have some rock climbing that we've had people come in and do demos for. So there's some actually really cool stuff out there that you can do for exercise as well. And again, please feel free to contact our helpline to get connected with any kind of exercise programs you're looking for in your area. They can help you get connected with local groups, local exercise centers, and things like that that can help you out during your journey. If you are not near an exercise class, we do offer virtual exercise demonstrations online as part of our PD Health at Home program, which I'll touch on in a few slides here. You can also follow along with the weekly Fitness Friday program that we stream virtually on Zoom as well. Okay, there are a lot of medications, as I mentioned. So what I would recommend is to go to our website, parkinson.org/medications. That's the most thorough information that I can recommend, as well as speaking with your doctor. Please feel free to review those, and you can bring those types of questions up to your doctor. They're more than happy to answer those for you and find the best medication treatment for you. Okay, again, you can see a theme here. I keep bringing up exercise and just how important it is, and it truly is. I wanted to share out this great fact sheet that the Parkinson's Foundation has created that again highlights the importance of exercise. As I mentioned, it's recommended that someone with PD does a minimum of 2.5 hours of exercise a week. And as you can see here, there are some great examples on this fact sheet. This fact sheet is available at our website, parkinson.org, as well as a fitness counts booklet and some other fitness one-page sheets that have some great information on how important fitness is during your Parkinson's journey. All right, nutrition. That's also a really, really big factor. Good nutrition is very important for everyone, of course, but especially those with Parkinson's disease. It's very important to stay hydrated. We recommend 6 to 8 glasses of water per day if possible. An increase in fiber can be very helpful. Plenty of whole grains, vegetables, and fruits. Increase anti-inflammatory and antioxidant foods. Those things can include oily fish like salmon or tuna, dark green leafy vegetables, purple and red fruits and vegetables. But then again, please always ask your doctor about protein and how it may affect your PD medication absorption. Those types of things can factor in when it comes to taking your medication. Okay, so before I open it up to questions on this section here, I want to discuss some of the key takeaways from this PD 101 presentation. Um, so, Parkinson's disease symptoms can be managed effectively. Symptoms vary from person to person, so it's important to see a neurologist or someone familiar with Parkinson's to make sure your symptoms are treated as well as possible, whether they are non motor symptoms or motor symptoms. A personalized treatment approach with a comprehensive team is what helps individuals with Parkinson's have the best long-term care and the best long-term outcomes. A support network is so important for a person with Parkinson's and for their family. So please take the time to talk with your doctor. And of course, as I mentioned, We are here to help any way we can, whether it's our helpline, whether it's locally with community presentations, education programs, as well as any of our virtual presentations. We are here to help. Okay, so I do have some more information for you guys, but I wanted to pause here. I know it's a lot of information, and open it up to any questions anyone may have. I believe you can type them in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer them for you.
Okay, we have a few questions here, Derek. So let me just,
Great.
let me know if this have been already answered or have been brushed up upon a
Absolutely.
while ago. Just have a like quick recap anyway. So this is the first questions. Do Parkinson's symptoms appear on a cyclical basis? Can be at 60 plus percent good for weeks, then nose dive in all most symptom areas almost monthly on schedule. Did you get that?
Yeah, I think I got the gist of it. That's a good question. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a cycle where things can go up and down. It's different from person to person. So I wouldn't say as a standard practice that one week you might feel better than the next. To be honest with you, that's just kind of daily living of life. As some weeks you feel better than others, but I would definitely say if you're feeling symptoms that have gotten stronger or worse over time, definitely consult your doctor. And I know I've said that multiple times, but it truly is important that you're working as a team with whether it's your primary care physician or a neurologist, because they're going to be able to give you treatments, suggest medications. There's people that get down the line and may have not had strong symptoms for 2, 3 years. Symptoms might get worse, symptoms might change, and it may be as simple as a change in the dosage of medication, the type of medication you're taking. So if you experience those changes of kind of the up and down nature that you were mentioning, definitely let your doctor know of those things, and they can accommodate when it comes to the medication side of things.
All right. So here's, I don't know if this is actually a question, but my
Okay.
mom has been involved with Johns Hopkins program, but the appointments are like 6 months apart and feel not effective, and condition changes up and down over those months. Really, there's like no question. Sorry. But maybe
That's
looking
okay.
for yeah,
Yeah, I would say unfortunately some of those centers of excellence that we work with and some of the bigger like the Mayo Clinic or Johns Hopkins, some of those bigger medical centers, it can be very difficult to find an appointment. I'd say if you're struggling to find somebody in your area or struggling to go through one of the big hospitals, to call our PD hotline that I'll share the number at the end of this presentation, because there may be other people in the community that work in connection with Johns Hopkins, but may not be stationed there necessarily, that can provide the same or similar treatment, but may have shorter wait times for things such as appointments.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And lastly, what do you know about skin testing for Parkinson's?
Skin testing, you said?
Yeah, skin testing.
I have not heard anything particularly related to that, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't want to give my opinion on something I'm not super familiar with. I would say again, refer you to our helpline or talk with your primary care physician. Our helpline has all the updates on the latest research. They are involved in that community. So if there are studies or clinical trials going on related to that, they would be the people that would be able to help you with that. But unfortunately, I am personally not familiar of any kind of studies or tests related to that.
Okay, and those are the pending questions for us. Derek, if you'd like to continue with your presentation.
All right. Thank you, Dexter. And thank you, everybody, for those great questions. If anything pops up through my next set of slides or you think of anything as I'm going through, please feel free to ask. I'll give another opportunity at the end. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the resources that we offer in the community. Since I'm based in the Mid-Atlantic region, some of these will be Mid-Atlantic specific. And I keep referencing Mid-Atlantic. I'll let everybody know that that covers Maryland, Virginia, DC, West Virginia, and Delaware. However, we have chapters throughout the US. So we cover the entire US. There's regions that have people in positions similar to mine that work with the communities. So if you're not in the mid-Atlantic for whatever reason, or you have a loved one or family member that's somewhere else in the country, all of not some, if not all of these resources that I'll go over are available throughout the US and in those different chapters as well. Okay, so this is the helpline number that I keep referencing, and this will be on a couple more slides in case you want to write it down or take a picture of it. Please feel free. And I believe Dexter is going to be sharing out these slides as well, so you'll have access to all this if you can't write anything down or you're not able to grab it while it's up on the screen. But these are some of the wonderful free resources that we have available. In the next slide, we'll look at how you can order some of these resources, but I just want to highlight some of the ones that are fantastic that the foundation offers. Our helpline, our 1-800 number, again, staffed by all medical professionals. Fantastic resource. They have access to everything that's available throughout the US, chapter support groups, wellness programs. They can give you a doctor in your area, a specialist in your area. They really are a fantastic resource for someone who may be looking for a little bit more in-depth information than what we're providing today or what you can find on the website. We also have PD Conversations, which is an online chat board forum that you can post to on our website. We have education books, both digital and physical copies that we can send to you free of charge. There are fact sheets that you can get PDF versions of online. You can also print them out. We have some fantastic webinars going on currently. Our PD Health at Home is an online virtual program. We have programs for veterans with PD. We also have something called PD Solo, which is a Parkinson's support group that meets bi-weekly on Tuesdays. That's online. This is for anybody who is going through their Parkinson's journey by themselves, or may not have immediate caretakers in their area. This allows them to talk to other individuals throughout the US that have been diagnosed with Parkinson's, share their stories, share their tips, share what they're going through. I have been a part of that program now for about a year, and it really is a great situation for you kind of just share and have some people to talk to and discuss your journey. So I would highly recommend that as well. We also have a YouTube channel with some fantastic recordings of things that we've done in the past, such as education events, webinars. Um, our podcast is also a fantastic resource. It is updated weekly. We have the latest research, the latest medical treatments, doctors on weekly. It really is a great listen and kind of gives you insights on the latest going on in the Parkinson's community as well. And then finally, the last thing I want to highlight is our hospital safety guide. And again, I'll touch on some of these more specifically as we move through, but the hospital safety guide is a great resource for anybody, frankly, whether you have been diagnosed with Parkinson's or not. It really goes through what you can expect if you're admitted to a hospital. It allows you to have a pre-written form signed by your doctor that you can show to doctors and nurses that are at the hospital where you're at. This allows you to make sure you don't miss medications, you're getting the treatment you need. And it's a pre-filled out form. Your doctor just signs in, and it essentially gives you kind of your doctor's authorization to do whatever you need to do in order to get the treatment that you need. Okay, so this is some of the resource information and how you can go about ordering these things. You can visit parkinson.org/PD library to see all the resources that we offer. So this includes the digital books, the audio books, our webinars, our fact sheets, our podcasts. You can also visit parkinson.org/store to order our three new books that are available for print, our newly diagnosed guide and our hospital safety guide. All of those are free of charge. We can mail them to you. The only thing that is charged is if you want the Kindle version, it's 99 cents to order the books if you want it on your Kindle. But if you don't have a Kindle or you don't mind getting a PDF or physical copy, all those things can be sent to you free of charge. So we don't charge for 99.9% of our resources. That's just the only one for 99 cents that we have through Kindle products. Okay, so again, some of the things that are in the PD library, you can see what the PD library looks like on your right-hand side of the screen here. You can see there's some great filters that you can filter if you're looking for books in English. We also have books in Spanish. We have different types of things. So you see books, audiobooks, our fact sheets. All of these things are available on the PD library. At first, it is a bit overwhelming because there are close, as you can see, to 400 results, 395 here as of last week, and those are always growing as well. But it's very easy to shorten the list using those filters on the left-hand side here of your screen, as I mentioned, to kind of narrow in on the topic you're looking for, the type of format you're looking for. All of those things are available to you as well. This is just a blown up picture of the filters here. You can see the 395 results. If you just wanted fact sheets, if you just wanted our podcast, you can check these filters right here and it'll filter down these results. So it's a little bit more manageable to go through when you're looking at the resources. And then, as I mentioned, you can also choose English or Spanish. Most of our literature is available in both languages. The You can see in this specific example, I chose English. I'm looking for our podcasts that are specifically related to fitness and diet, and you can see there's 13 results just related to that. I believe there's over 200 episodes now of our podcast, and it was actually revamped recently. So the format has changed a little bit, but there's still some great comprehensive resources that are available through the podcast specifically. As I mentioned, you can get these things via print at the parkinson.org/store for the print copies. You can see on the screen here, we have some of the books like Fitness Counts that I highlighted earlier, our Frequently Asked Questions book, Living Your Best Life, in addition to the Hospital Safety Guide in the right-hand corner, which again, as I mentioned, is a great tool for advocacy while you are in a hospital. And there's also Spanish resources that can be ordered as physical copies as well. And then, as I mentioned, the one thing that we do charge through Amazon is for Kindle products. If you want these booklets on the Kindle, it is 99 cents. But as I mentioned, this is the only thing we charge for. And all of these books are available for free through the website as well. So this is only if somebody is interested specifically in having a Kindle version of the book. All right, so some of our Mid-Atlantic chapter specific resources. If you visit parkinson.org/Mid-Atlantic, you scroll down and you click local resources on the left-hand side of your page. We have two types of local resource lists, our wellness list and support groups list, which is divided by state and city. You just click on whichever one you want and you can review all of those. It has phone numbers, the website, meeting dates if it's a support group. All that information should be listed there. If there's something missing or you want more information on the group, you can also reach out to our helpline, and they're more than happy to describe kind of what the group is about and if it fits what you're looking for. And then finally, I wanted to also highlight some upcoming events that we're having in the Mid-Atlantic area where you can register for at parkinson.org/Mid-Atlantic. The one education program that we have coming up is our chapter-wide Mid-Atlantic Chapter Symposium on May 18th in Linthicum Heights, Maryland. It's also available virtually via Zoom. We would love to see you in person if possible. It's near the Baltimore BWI Airport area, if anyone's familiar with that, off 95. But there's also a virtual option if you're not close to that area or you don't want to travel. But we'd love to see you there as well if possible. We're going to have more presentations from doctors. We have a yoga expert that works with people with Parkinson's. We have a personal trainer that's going to be speaking, doing some demos as well. So it's a really in-depth and inclusive atmosphere where everybody can be involved and meet some people in their local community. So we'd love to see everybody out for that if you're able to make it, or of course via Zoom as well. And then we also have something called Moving Day, which is a walk that helps raise money for the foundation. People with Parkinson's, families and such can form teams to walk for someone in honor of somebody, or with the person with Parkinson's, whatever they want to do. So we have three opportunities for that if you're interested. You can also just come out and walk and support the foundation if you want to. No donation or anything necessary. We love to have the support of the community for these walks. So you can see we have one in DC on May the 3rd on the Washington Mall. We have one in Baltimore at the UMBC campus on June the 7th. And then this year, we also have a Moving Day Richmond for the second time. We had our inaugural one last fall. We have one again this October at the Richmond National Raceway. If you want to find out any information about that, you can register or find more information at the parkinson.org/Mid-Atlantic page. And then finally, the other resource I had mentioned I want to highlight is our weekly virtual programming that is offered nationally throughout the US on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can learn more or register for these free events at parkinson.org/pdhealth. We have Mindfulness Mondays, Wellness Wednesdays, and Fitness Fridays. They are just what they sound like. They have expertise topics in mindfulness, wellness, and fitness. They are fantastic events. We bring in some speakers that work with the foundation, both as doctors as well as fitness experts. So it really is a great opportunity for you to find out some more information at home and participate in these programs as well. And they often have demos as well on the Fitness Friday program. So it's a really cool program to be a part of. You can just register online. It's not a commitment like you have to come every week. And of course, all of these are available to you free of charge if you're interested. And then finally, how you can get involved both in the community and find out local resources. As I mentioned, 1 million people have Parkinson's in the US, and 90,000 are diagnosed in the US every year. So this mission is very urgent, both for the foundation and for our community at large. We always encourage you to get involved any way you can. You can support the foundation and our work, furthering our local reach and impact, participate in any of our events, like such as the Moving Days, our Mid-Atlantic Symposium that's coming up. You're always welcome as well to volunteer as a Parkinson's ambassador. We have Parkinson's ambassadors go out and do presentations such as this one that I'm doing today in our community. So it's really a great opportunity to get back and also get involved in your community, whatever area you may be in. And if you've enjoyed today's presentation, as I mentioned, and you're interested in becoming a volunteer, please visit parkinson.org/volunteer, and you can find out more information about becoming an ambassador for the foundation. Okay, so before I close it up here for any more questions anyone may have, I do want to share how you can connect with the foundation. You can visit our website, parkinson.org. You can also please call our helpline. They have an email as well, helpline@parkinson.org. Please feel free to connect with us on any of the social media platforms if you're on there. And then I also want to highlight our Mid-Atlantic chapter contacts, Dawn Lewis, who's our advancement director, Derek Russell, who's me, our education and outreach manager, and as well as Jalen Swan, who is our advancement coordinator. Any of us are more than happy to help, but please feel free to take down my email, phone number. If there's anything I can specifically do to help you or support you, please let any of us know. We are happy to help any way we can. But thank you guys for having me. I will open it back up for any questions anyone may have from the last few slides or anything before that. Happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Okay, we have a question here. Would you be able to go into what to do in order to detect Parkinson's early to get the proper treatment?
Yeah, I would say definitely looking at those 10 symptoms that I showed at the beginning. Let me see if I can find that slide for you again real quick. Um, but we do have a early diagnosis, early symptoms guide that is available on our website. I would definitely refer to that. I would say if you're experiencing, 2 or 3 of those things that you can see now on the screen, definitely consult your local physician, or even you could see a neurologist at that point. Unfortunately, early detection can be really difficult unless there's symptoms at the onset that are very noticeable. But certainly, if you've started to notice several of these symptoms, I would definitely recommend mentioning it to your primary care physician or doctor. Again, if you have one or two of these, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a pre-indication that you'll be diagnosed with Parkinson's. But in those situations, I would probably lean on the safer side and definitely advocate for you speaking with your doctor if you're experiencing several of these things.
Okay, and here's another. I know I could find on the site, but are there support resources for family members, those that deal with the Parkinson's patient?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have support groups that are in the Mid-Atlantic area. Those are both for caregivers as well as the person with Parkinson's. Those are definitely available to look at. What I would recommend registering for is we have something yearly called our Care Partner Summit, which is a virtual event that we host, I believe, in November. So that information, unfortunately, is not out as of yet. But that is one of the main things I would highlight is our virtual care partner summit that we host yearly. All of the speakers, all of the material in that is specifically geared towards the caregiver, because we know that it is oftentimes just as stressful on them as well. So we want to make sure we're advocating for caregivers in those situations, care partners in those situations, to ensure that they have the support that they need. So unfortunately, I don't have that information yet just because we haven't set it up, but typically it takes place in November, our Care Partner Summit. I would definitely recommend that to you specifically.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and another one here. How do we sign up for the clinical trials at Hopkins in Baltimore?
Sure. So I would call the 1-800-4PD info number or Johns Hopkins directly. The foundation does not facilitate necessarily the signing up of clinical trials through um, someone like Johns Hopkins, the Mayo Clinic, places like that. Although we support them through community grants and other things, we are not the actual gateway, I guess, to getting people inside those clinical trials. But certainly, if there's something in your area you're interested in being a part of and you are not really sure where to start, that helpline, the 1-800-4PD info, can definitely get you into who you need to contact, get you into the trial from a standpoint of finding out more information and getting in contact with the people that are running it. So, although the foundation specifically doesn't run any of those clinical trials, we can kind of make those introductions for you.
Expertise with us. And what does visiting angels do? That's from Stephen K. So, perfect question. I will be calling on William here to, walk us through and give us an idea about what visiting angels does. William, please go ahead.
Yeah, first one I wanted to do is thank Derek. Um, what a wealth of knowledge and source for applicable information. Yeah, Visiting Angels, what we do is we provide non-medical support that allows individuals to age at home and uh, age gracefully. In addition to what Visiting Angels does we do these coffee chats, and what we really want to be known for is as a resource with all things that are applicable to aging in place, and not just being someone that provides caregivers. We want to be able to help any issues that you might be having. So thank you everybody for attending today. And Derek, once more, I think this was incredibly useful information, and especially for a topic that can be overwhelming to families. So
Wait. Have you heard of Parkinson's protocol? And are they doing anything legitimate?
I have not heard of Parkinson's protocol. I would just say as a standard, I don't want to say warning, but just a practice that I would say is if you see any of those types of organizations or clinical trials kind of advertised, unfortunately, like most things, you may kind of see those things come up in ads, whether it's on a Facebook or even just on your internet as you're clicking through. Or if you see anything like that as a suggestion, I would always run it by your doctor, run it by our helpline, do your research and kind of look a little bit more to what that organization is working with. A lot of the big players, it's very easy to find where what they're doing and that it's legitimate. If it looks, as a standard practice, I'd say if it looks a little questionable, it probably is. But definitely I would consult your doctor, consult the helpline before you go into any of those things or give any information to them. And of course, I would say anything is standard practice. Again, if it's asking for money or asking some sort of fee in order to get involved, it's probably going to be a scam of some sort. So just be really careful out there, because unfortunately there are people trying to take advantage of people with Parkinson's, older individuals, as well, as I'm sure everyone is aware of those types of things. So just be careful with those types of things. But no, unfortunately, I haven't heard of that specific organization.
Okay, that's it for our questions. No way, I'm really happy about this episode. It's really comprehensive, as they said a while ago. And thank you very much, of course, for joining us today, Derek, for everybody who's been here.
Thank you.
We will be emailing you the link for the replay of this presentation and the presentation slides as well. So stay tuned. I have also placed the link of Visiting Angels here at the comments area, just in case you're curious about what Visiting Angel does. And as well, lastly, I would like to invite you for the episode this coming month, and it's gonna be about navigating VA and government benefits. All right, so I'm gonna be leaving the link here as well. You will get it over the email as well. So seeing that no questions has been added, thank you all for joining us. We hope you leave feeling a little more informed, a little more empowered, and a lot more supported. Special thanks again to Derek and the Parkinson's Foundation for sharing their time and expertise. We'll see you again on the third Wednesday of the month for another coffee chat. Until then, take care, stay curious, and remember, you're not alone on this journey. Have a great rest of your day. See ya. Bye bye.
At Visiting Angels, we're committed to enriching the lives of elders and their significant others. Our monthly coffee chat sessions aim to make your lives easier and better by providing quality information from our expert panelists. We're here to elevate your quality of life, offer practical wisdom, and ensure you have access to valuable insights.